All right, guys, I am filming this one again. I apparently didn't hit start, and I went through the whole thing. Hi, Ace. How are you? All right. So I'm going to go through a stretching routine for almost the entire body that we can do from a sitting position, starting with the neck. So one of my favorite neck stretches is just something called a controlled articular rotation. So what that means is fancy talk for moving the neck through the biggest range of motion or the greatest range of motion we can without pain. So to do this, we're going to keep our mouth closed and we're going to take our chin and trace along our collarbone and then try to make the biggest circle we can with our chin, nice and slowly. And if you come to a point where you're like, oh, it kind of hurts there, I want you to back off and go around it. So if you find a roadblock, back up and go around it. Don't just slam on the gas and try to run through it. We know when you do that with the car goes airborne. When we do that to the body, we could cause injury potentially. So we're going to go nice and slow. And then back the other way. And for this type of movement, we want to go 4 to 5 circles in each direction. Moving on to some static stretches from the neck, we are going to always anchor our hand behind our back. If you can't do this and put your hand behind your back, you can grab onto the side of the chair. So with my hand behind my back, I'm going to take my other hand and we're going to stretch the upper trapezius, which is along the side of the neck into the top of the shoulder, and bring my ear to my shoulder until I feel a gentle stretch. For static stretches, we want to hold 30 to 45 seconds in a nice gentle stretch. We don't want to yank anything. It shouldn't be painful. All right, so we're going to just pretend I did 45 seconds, but you guys don't want to sit and watch me do that whole thing. All right. The other one for the neck is to stretch the levator scapulae. So we're going to do the same thing with our hand, but this time I'm going to do the opposite side, and I'm going to do the anchoring the bottom of the chair. So I'm grabbing the bottom of the chair, and this is basically so we can keep our shoulder down so that when I turn my head, I bring my head to my side, my shoulder comes up. So I'm going to hold on to the chair, and I'm bringing my nose down like I'm trying to sniff my armpit. So down and in to stretch the levator scapulae, which attaches from the base of the skull into the top of the shoulder blade. All right, so those are some neck stretches. Moving on to the wrist, my two favorites for the flexors is to bend the wrist backwards so we feel the stretch up there, up the palm side of the forearm, both with our arms straight out and the elbow bent for 30-second holds. And then the opposite for the extensors, we're going to bring our wrist palm down, both with the elbow bent and the elbow outstretched. And the reason we do the elbow bent and the elbow straight is that some of our wrist flexors and extensors also cross the elbows so that they're stretched in both directions. All right, so again, with those stretches, 30-second holds, 2 to 3 times per side. All right, moving on to the shoulder, we can do controlled articular rotation. So same thing, we're going to try to take this shoulder through the biggest circle we can make. So I'm going to start with my hand palm facing in towards me, sitting up nice and tall in my chair, and I'm going to reach down to the ground, reach forward towards you guys, reach up to the sky, and when I get to here, I can't go back any further. My thumb is pointed towards that back wall. I can't go any further. I've hit a roadblock, so I'm going to rotate my hand so my palm is facing that way and be able to continue on. The roadblock kind of comes up. It's like the toll arm just kind of says, okay, you can go, you paid your toll. All right, so then I get all the way up here as far as I can go, palm facing out. I can't go up anymore. I'm going to rotate my palm towards me and I can come up. All right, so coming back down from the bottom, if I start with my palm out, I go back, and now with my palm facing that way, I reach my roadblock sooner. I'm going to rotate out, so my palm is now facing that way, and then I can come up and over through my circle. All right, the other one we can do for the shoulder, and this stretches in the back of our shoulder and kind of the rotator cuff here, is just to do the standard cross body stretch. So my elbows out straight and I'm hugging my shoulder or my upper arm into my body till I feel a stretch. maybe between my shoulder blades, maybe just right here on the side of the shoulder. Either way is just fine. Again, we don't want anything painful. Next we can do is controlled articular rotation of the shoulder blade. So instead of just of the arm, the whole arm, we can get our shoulder blades moving. So I'm going to keep my hands rested on my knees and do both of them at the same time. So I'm going to bring my shoulders up towards my ears, bring them and pinch them back and down as far as I can, and then forward. So it's a big shoulder roll. And then we'd go the other way. So up to my shoulders, down and around. So maybe I should show this one from the side. All right, so from the side, hands rested on my shoulders, or sorry, these are hands rested on my knees. I'm going to sit up nice and tall. I'm going to bring my shoulders up to my earlobes, bring them back down, squeeze them down to the ground, and back up, and then going the other way. So forward, down, up, and into my shoulder blades. All right, so controlled articular rotations of the shoulder and the scapula. The other one we can do in the upper body for the controlled articular rotations is the thoracic spine. So from the sitting sideways position, I'm going to gently put my hands on my chest. I'm going to try to basically curve my upper spine like I'm trying to slump over, and then do a circle through my upper back, and then a circle back the other way. This one's a little bit challenging, but if you get good at it and you really can get those upper thoracic vertebrae to go around and move around a little bit, you're going to feel a lot better and a lot less stiff in your upper back. All right, so again for that one, 4 to 5 times each direction. And moving from there, we can get into our leg stretches. So we've got 2. We can stretch our hip rotators by crossing our ankle onto our opposite knee and then sitting forward and pushing gently down. And I'm looking to feel that stretch in my piriformis. I'm going to make sure I protect my knee. We're going to hold this one for 30 to 45 seconds. This one's nice. For people that have like back pain, sometimes it's their piriformis getting tight, especially if you might be getting a little bit of sciatica type pain. I find that I often give this one to people that have desk jobs or they sit in meetings, and I'm like, all you gotta do is cross your leg over and then sit gently forward. It looks like you're just like paying attention to your meeting, but really you're stretching your hip. Isn't it kind of neat? We can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, get some work done, get some stretching in. All right, and then the last one, we can stretch our hip flexors, sorry. We can stretch our hamstrings while we sit in a chair by just scooting forward, bringing our leg out straight, and then keeping our upper back flat and trying to bring our chest over our knee so you feel a stretch through there. I'm also pulling my toes up to my knee and I can feel that stretch through there. And remember, we don't want to be slumped here. We want to sit nice and tall, keep that chest real proud so we feel that stretch. All right, those are some stretches you can do while sitting in a chair. Let me know if you have any questions.